This is 91.1 The Avenue. I'm Amanda Sharon, joined now by up-and-coming country music singer-songwriter Erin Kinsey. Erin, thanks so much for joining me today.
Hi. Oh, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and you're coming to town, performing on Wednesday as part of the Gather on Broadway Farmers Market series, downtown Green Bay in the Broadway district. And we're so excited to welcome you to Green Bay, although I understand it's not your first time in Wisconsin. But what can folks expect for the show on Wednesday?
You know what? I'm so excited. We actually have a longer set than we normally get to do. Where I'm at in my career, most of my sets are like 20 to 30 minutes, and this one is over an hour. So we're getting to pull out all the deep cuts, all the songs that I've released that we don't always get to play. So I'm just really, really excited because I feel like as time goes on, people are discovering the music, and they'll have favorites that we always can't fit in the set. So we're actually going to get to play it all, basically every song I've ever released.
Awesome. So tell our listeners about your music, what you like to play and what you like to write.
Yeah, well, I mean, the best way to get to know me is through my music. I write about my life. I write about things I've been through, or about things I've dreamed about. And, the music is definitely, I mean, it's got them Texas country roots for sure. But then also I love like big guitars and big drums. So it's a mix of a lot of different things. But I think that's what's cool of country music and music in general right now is there's really no rules. It's like the Wild West out here. So
Yeah.
it's, I think in the set, especially we just had rehearsal a couple days ago. So you're going through it and it feels like we almost have something for everybody a little bit, but they're all me and my story. So it's cool.
Great. So I understand that you are actually in Nashville and you moved to Nashville at a pretty young age, right?
Yes, I graduated high school in 2018, and I graduated high school actually a year early, and moved the next day and came up to town and just started to try to meet people, write with anybody who would write with me, play anywhere they would let me play. And I mean, now I can't believe that my parents let me move here at 17. This just seems ridiculous. But I'm really glad they did, and it's been such a wild ride.
Yeah, wow. So, I mean, you're in your early 20s. You got a really great early start in the Nashville scene when you were really young. What was that like being just 17 moving like that?
Well, as you know, a lot of people know it's very much a 21 town, so it was an interesting situation because I didn't go to Belmont, or I took some online classes, but I was really just wanting to dive in all the way on music, and luckily my parents were crazy enough to let me. But it was definitely an interesting world, but then also COVID happened like 2 years later, so I went home for a couple months just to like be with my family because we couldn't buy like chicken at the grocery store and it was scary. But then I came back and turned 21, and that's when I feel like I really got my just like the confidence of being in the town, and like I knew where my Kroger was. I knew how to get downtown from out west where I'm at, and I started releasing music, and that's kind of when things changed for me, is when I finally had the, I don't know, the courage, or took the leap of faith to start releasing my own stuff. And man, I'm just so grateful for it. But it was crazy.
Yeah, I bet. So, speaking of music and new releases, you have a new project out called That My Heart. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, so it came out maybe a month ago now, maybe not long ago is my point. But it's 7 songs, which is a very long EP. We probably should have just added on like a couple more and called it an album, but we didn't. And again, it's the Wild West. You can do whatever you want. So the songs are just ones that I'm so proud of. Like, the only other project I've released was my debut EP that I released about a year and a little bit ago. And it felt so much like an introduction, like a first date. And it was like, I do this music thing. I'm from Texas. I'm a young girl. I've fallen out of love. And this EP feels like I'm actually creating like a relationship with the listeners. And it's like, remember that time I told you about me being in the relationship or something like that? Let me tell you the details of it. Let's go a little deeper. And it was really, you know, some of the songs on Bet My Heart were not easy to write, but they're all ones that I wrote very much in the moment of feeling everything. Um, Most of them were songs I wrote within the year of putting out the project. So it's felt really nerve wracking to like put my heart on the line like that and be so honest, but it's made the shows so um just so special because I feel like when I'm singing, I mean, a lot of the girls that come out to the show are my age, going through all the things I'm going through. Besides music, I mean, we all got pretty much the same issues going on. So
Mhm.
it's fun when you're that open and honest. You really feel that connection with the audience. So it makes live shows just so much fun to, play those songs and watch people relate and get to talk with them after.
Yeah. So, where do you get your inspiration for your music and your songs from? I mean, obviously, probably your life, but where does your best inspiration come from?
You know what? You said it. It's mostly my life. Unfortunately, I've been told since I came to town to just write what I know. And I've learned the only thing I really know is what I'm going through. Um, so the more that I mean, at first when I was writing songs in like middle school, I tried to write songs about like trucks and like about going out and stuff like that. And then I was like, you know what? I don't have a truck. I have a forerunner. And like I don't, go out to bars because I'm 15. But I was trying to like, write songs that I thought people wanted to hear instead of writing what I wanted to say. And I feel like recently, in the last couple of years, I've really just focused on what I want to say. And it's been so much easier.
Right, right. Yeah, like when you're honest and true, it resonates the most with your listeners and people in general.
For sure.
So, you talked about writing songs in middle school. When did you know that this was going to be your path?
You know what? I got a guitar for Christmas is the most, down the middle story ever. But I got a guitar for Christmas when I was 11. And I had started taking lessons because neither of my parents were musical at all. And I started taking lessons from a guy. He was actually like fresh out of high school at the time. Like he was young, but I was 11 and he just let me run with it and wanted me to love it more than he wanted me to learn the scales and things like that. So I started learning chords and I started writing songs and I would just be thinking about music all the time. I mean, even before then, I always gravitated towards music. Like my favorite part of the church service is when we were worshiping. I loved being in the car and turning up what was ever on the radio. But once I could create it myself, I just couldn't get enough of it. And I would come home from school. It's all I wanted to do. And then once I learned I could go out and perform and I could make people listen to me, it was over.
Right. Well, it sounds like you are doing exactly what it was that you were meant to do. So, what's on the horizon for you? More recording, touring? What's next?
I mean, honestly, the exciting part is a little bit of everything. We're looking at some fun things for the fall tour wise, which I will keep everyone posted on on my socials. But also, I'm writing every day, getting in the studio some, and you know, just trying to come up with some fun things for the fall. But I'm definitely in the planning stages right now, so I'm scared to say anything because then I might be like, yeah, we actually decided to really take a sharp left turn from that. But a lot of really exciting conversations going on right now. So it'll definitely be a busy fall, but I'm ready for it.
Great. So, where can our listeners learn more about you or hear your music?
Well, the music is anywhere that you can, look up music. We make sure it's everywhere. But I mean, the best way to follow me and get to probably see more of me than you want to is on Instagram and TikTok. I try to keep those things, keep them updated. um, And my handle on both of those is just at Erin Kinsey TX. Because obviously, as a Texas girl, I got to throw that in everywhere I can. But yeah, those are where I stay most active for sure.
Great, Erin. It was so great to speak with you today. Thanks for joining me.
Of course, good to talk to you.
Erin Kinsey will be performing on Wednesday as part of the Gather on Broadway Farmers Market Series downtown Green Bay in the Broadway district, presented by Nicolay Bank, a supporting partner of 91.1 The Avenue.